Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. So today we are here with another episode of Makeup and Movie Monday. So this is kind of like a new thing I started doing last week. So if you haven't checked out my first it's not an episode, but my first kind of attempt at doing something like this. I did it last Monday and I did it on the movie Apocalypse Now. So essentially what I'm doing is every Monday I'll be doing a makeup look while I'll be talking about one of my favourite films, or just kind of films in like a film in general. It doesn't mean that it has to be one of my favourite films. It's just something I wanted to try and do a little bit differently, and I want to talk about maybe movies that have kind of fallen off the kind of spectrum, or movies that I kind of feel like a lot of people don't really talk about anymore, or yeah, just think that films in general basically. So each week I'll be concentrating on just one film, and you could probably tell by the title, but today I'm going to be talking about This Is Spinal Tap. So this is one of my favourite comedy films. It's probably my favourite comedy film of all time. And why I chose it was, I don't know. I mean, I can literally almost quote every line from this film. So yeah, let's just kind of get into it. When I'm putting on the makeup, I'm not essentially going to be talking about the makeup, I'm more talking about the film itself. This is only like the second one I'm ever doing, so if I start messing up, or if I'm not saying the right things, I apologize. I'm very nervous. And yeah, I'm just here to talk more about my passion towards like movies and films and incorporating makeup with it. So today we are talking about This Is Spinal Tap, as I mentioned. So this is a comedy rockumentary, as they call it. But what a lot of people, oh god, I've put too much on, might not realise is that Spinal Tap are a real band when you think about it. It's just the kind of everything that happens around it obviously is not real. So it's directed by Rob Reiner, who is the director, but he's also kind of the director in the movie as well as Martin DeBergi. So Rob Reiner has previously directed The Princess's Bride, so that's probably one of his more kind of like well-known movies. He also done Stand By Me, and oh my god, it's on the back of this DVD, I completely forgot, When Harry Met Sally, sorry. I know this, but because my brain is half asleep and it's very hot, and yeah, because I've just recently moved, I am filming in our bedroom, and if the lighting is really bad or you can see the crap in the background, I apologise. But yes, this was kind of directed and released in 1984, so it's a really good year for like comedy movies. And yeah, as I mentioned, it's directed by Rob Reiner. It stars Michael McKean, who plays well, essentially the band member. So you've got Michael McKean, who is now known for Better Call Saul. He plays Saul's brother. I'm a big fan of Breaking Bad, but for some reason I haven't really watched Better Call Saul, and it's meant to be an amazing show. I think I started to watch some of the first season and then I stopped. Even though like Saul is like one of my favourite characters in Breaking Bad, I just never have started to watch it, and I probably should because I've heard very good things. It also stars Christopher Guest, who's more kind of like more recently known as a director, but he is yeah, he plays Nigel. So he's actually been in Princess's Bride. He directed Best in Show, which is kind of a lot of the kind of cast members of Spinal Tap as well, and also Harry Shearer, who plays Derek Smalls, who is mostly known for doing voices in The Simpsons. And off the top of my head, my brain is half asleep, but he does voice a lot of characters. It's none of the main characters. I should know this because I'm a very big Simpsons fan, but I have lost my mind right now, so I apologise. But yes, the movie is essentially about a British rock band who are kind of well past it, but they don't really acknowledge that they're well past it because they've been around for such a long time. And the movie kind of sets place during their tour around America, and they have a new album out called Smell the Glove. And essentially, this album and the tour is doing quite badly. The album, before it's even coming out, has problems because they wanted, on the album cover, they want quite a lurid, naughty cover. And, you know, because they're not really up there anymore, a lot of their kind of PR people are like, this is not a good idea, let's just have something simple. And just essentially, I can't remember if it was supposed to be taking the piss out of Metallica, because Metallica have the Black Album, and they talk about in the movie about the White Album by the Beatles just having a white cover. And they're just like, what was the white cover? It was nothing, but it sold millions because it's the Beatles. But yeah, when, you know, they want to have that album cover, it kind of goes to shit. But the whole kind of part of the film is to kind of just show like old bands who are still trying to like make it out there, just kind of not success as much as they used to. And one thing I do love about this film, it kind of, although it's like a rockumentary, it's a piss take, but it feels so authentic because a lot of like musicians in real life, I think I remember The Edge from U2 had kind of mentioned that when he saw the movie for the first time, that he started to cry because he thought it was so real and on the nose and so kind of true to real life, because the amount of shit that they kind of go through on tour, like essentially whenever they get to a tour date, they're cancelled or they're moved to a smaller venue, or that they have a puppet show above them. If you've seen the film, you kind of get what the quotes I'm saying. If you haven't seen the film, it is essential that you see it, because for me it's a big staple in comedy, because lots of police alarms around my area, but when it comes to a movie like this where it's so obvious that it's like taking the piss out of you know, rock like documentaries and stuff. And I know this came out before, I think it was before Some Kind of Monster, so the, you know, the real well known like Metallica one where they all just end up like hating each other and, you know, just just making a really bad album essentially. I'm sorry, the lighting's gone, the light outside has kind of dimmed down. But the movie itself just feels so just insane. I remember when I was really young and I watched it for the first time, my dad had told me about it and he was like, yes, it's about this band called Spinal Tap and they're on tour and this and that. And I remember watching it. If you're from the UK, you would know what ITV is. So it's just like a channel. If you're not from the UK, it's just essentially a TV channel. I remember just one night flicking through just like the TV, and it was on, and the scene that came on when I was watching it was in the airport. So Derek, who is the bass player, Harry Shearer, he there's a scene kind of like before where they're on stage singing their songs, and it like zooms on to his crotch, and he's got like this massive if you can even say it, but it's massive. His down below is quite massive. But one thing that they kind of lead on in the film when he's going through like the airport check-in is that obviously it's a cucumber with tin foil on it. And one of my favourite lines in that movie is when the kind of security guard says, oh, have you got any artificial limbs? And he's like, no, not really. And he ends up like taking out the cucumber in his pants, and that is just one of the funniest scenes in comedy history. And it's so just simple, but it just shows you these rock bands who kind of love themselves so much that they kind of feel that they have to show off that they've got massive libidos and massive penises when obviously they don't. But yeah, that's one thing that I just love about this movie, and why I wanted to talk about it was just, I think when it comes to comedy these days, there's nothing like that kind of era. And I know there's so many different movies that I could like talk about, But when it comes to, like, for me, I know a lot of people feel the same way about this movie, but it's just something so special, and it's original in my kind of personal opinion. It just works so well, and the fact that they tour as like a real band, I don't think they really tour anymore. I remember, I think it was about, must have been like early 2000, they were doing a around the world tour for one night in Wembley. So it's like around the world tour, one night in one venue. And you know, what else can you ask for like a comedy band to kind of talk about and just do? But they played the support band, and they played a Spinal Tap as well. So I think, again, amazing, amazing band, and they have real albums, which are really interesting as well, because I think I've got like two of them. I think I've got like Break Like the Wind, or Break the Wind, which again are jokes. What else can you ask for in comedy? But yeah, the movie just, I mean, when I was trying to find like numbers, I don't think it did as well when it came out, but now it's more like a cult film. And what I just, yeah, it's truly a gem. So if you have not ever seen it, please give it a go. Like there's like special editions and all these other versions. Even on, there's like a DVD version that I have, they have outtakes, which is them like improv, but it's like a film in itself, because it's at least an hour and a half long. So if you've seen the film but haven't seen like the special features, please check them out, because they're so damn good. And it just shows you how great the kind of actors are when it comes to like improv and just kind of making shit up as you go along, because that's what a lot of bands, like not bands but like actors used to do. Kind of, I know nowadays you've got a lot of like ad lib, which I absolutely freaking hate. Like in those kind of Judd Uptown movies, or that guy who did Bridesmaids, like all his movies are all like ad lib, and I freaking hate that kind of stuff. But at least with kind of old school comedy movies, they knew when to stop, and they knew how to actually have a proper script, and make a good film. So you won't be seeing some of those movies on my Makeup and Movie Mondays, but essentially what I'm saying is go and watch This Is Spinal Tap, because it is honestly just an amazing film. I don't know what else I can really say apart from just wanting to like bring attention to people who haven't seen it, or those who have seen it but not seen it in a while, because I want it to be like, oh my god, I love that movie, but I haven't seen it in so long. Just give me 1 second, I'm gonna put on my lipstick. Okay. And one thing that I do love about this film is that the songs on the film, you can get them in an album. So I remember when I first had seen the movie, they released, it's kind of like a best of, but it's just the songs from the film, but the whole songs. So you've got songs like Sex Farm. Yes, there's a song called Sex Farm. Essentially all of these songs are like taking the piss, and that's what the whole kind of film is. Like one of my favorite scenes, sorry, let me just get this on. So you guys know that I'm a big Led Zeppelin fan, and I obviously, Jimmy Page is the guitarist, and he is well known for playing his guitar with a bow. So what in one of the scenes in the movie, Nigel, he plays an actual violin on a guitar, and that is just one of the funniest, weirdest scenes in like comedy history, but it's so funny because it works so well. But yeah, what I just love about this movie is just like the authenticity of it, of like, you know, a band who kind of know that they're at the end of where they really should be, but they want to carry on. I mean, without, this is not even a spoiler, but at the end of it, it's kind of like a happy ending, because they go through like this kind of, they're at the bottom, then they kind of go up a little bit, then they go really down, and then at the end they're at the top again. And it just shows you like how real bands are, like they are essentially that. But yeah, this is kind of my talk on This Is Spinal Tap. This is my makeup look. It's nothing too special. Again, I have not spoken about the makeup, but again, the makeup and movie Mondays are about the movie. I hope this has been quite interesting. I mean, I know I can go on a little bit when it comes to talking about what I love. If I've not really spoken enough about the movie, I apologise. I am slowly getting there when it comes to like testing out what I want to talk about in the movies, how I want to bring them about. But let me know what you think of this episode. Let me know if you have seen the movie, if you enjoy it. If you haven't seen it, please do go and watch it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, because I upload videos every time I get a chance to, which hopefully is more often. And I'll definitely see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.